Hello and welcome to the 200th episode of the Trash Talk Podcast. I am your host JJ, and with me today I have Sergej. He's over there.
Hello.
So yeah, as you can see, this one's gonna be highly professional as per usual. By the way, stick around for the halftime show. It's gonna be exciting. I'm legitimately looking forward to this. I mean, not that I'm not usually, but you know, like, especially so. Like, it's gonna be doozy. Though before that, we're gonna start off with our discussion. We have more or less a through line plan for the entire podcast, so we're gonna start off with, you know, this is a round number. Some people claim so, at least. Yes, jokes about decimal.
Yeah.
So, we decided that we would do something that makes sense in that regard, so obviously that means it's going to be about the show or the channel. There isn't too much to be said about the show specifically. Well, there's some stuff to be said, but we're going to be talking about TrashcanTV. You know.
In general. Including the side channel.
Yes, which you're currently watching. I mean, it's called TrashcanTV 2. I mean, it kind of makes sense that those go together.
I guess, yeah.
So, I titled this TrashcanTV, Past, Present, Future. And it would only make sense to start with the future, no, with the past.
I mean, I can't see if, reasons why it would make sense to start in the future.
I mean, yes. But
though usually you'd start in the past.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna go more or less chronologically here. There's probably gonna be some point where we think of something that came before, and it's not gonna be perfectly chronological, but so I guess this is where I tell you about the channel. And of course, Sergej wasn't there for all of this, so feel free to ask questions. And I guess the first one would be, why did we start the channel? That's a question to answer, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. How did you come up with the idea to start a YouTube channel?
Well, conveniently enough, Alex isn't here today, so that was Alex and Jesus, not that one. Like 2,000 years ago, yeah. No. Alex and our buddy Jesus had the idea of making a YouTube channel, or I believe more accurately, Alex had the idea. Then Jesus suggested the channel name, TrashcanTV, which I'm not sure if you noticed, but we're using to this day. And so at the time, it was just the idea, just vaguely like, hey, let's make a YouTube channel. And so originally that was Alex and Jesus, and then we were having a barbecue, like, that same night, which was not entirely coincidental, because I think they were shopping for the barbecue when they came up with the idea. That's not necessarily relevant to that. I think we also might have mentioned the story before on the channel, but so, you know, they come up with the idea, and then at the barbecue, Alex is like, hey, anyone wanna do the whole YouTube thing? And so he basically, like, to everyone present, suggested, like, who wants to be a part of this. And, like, we were, as a group, kind of throwing ideas around, and, like, as it became, like, more and more clear that it seemed to be a thing that we were gonna do, more and more people started pulling out.
Mm-hmm.
So, in theory, a lot of people were willing to, like, throw out ideas and, like, vaguely maybe interested in playing along, but at the end of the day, most people weren't that convinced. And I can't say that I was, like, hugely into it, but I was willing to try it out. So, you know, I was willing to try it out. Alex really wanted to do it, so that is when that night we created the channel, actually. So, the actual account was created on the date, I think you could see it on the About page when an account was created. So, like, that date, possibly a day prior, because it might have been after it probably was after midnight, is when the channel was initially conceived. And so we created it immediately, and we also created the logo and the original banner that is on top of the channel page. We have a different one since then, but I think we got both the logo and the banner like also that night.
Damn, that is a quick process of from having an idea to actual YouTube channel.
Well, yes.
With a few designs already.
I mean, I feel like the logo kind of makes a lot of sense. I mean, the logo, in the way it looks, is not perfect, and it's definitely weird, especially because the art style of the trash can and the art style of the TV is completely different. And the writing on the TV isn't really readable.
For a long time, I didn't even know that there was writing on the TV.
Mm-hmm. it says TrashcanTV on, the TV. And so that was, I mean, the channel's called TrashcanTV. The logo kind of makes itself. Like, it might not be...
Yeah.
It might not be the best logo that you've ever seen, but the logic makes sense, I feel like, with the channel name. And the banner at the time was just a dump truck with, like, graffiti on the side that said garbage content. And I think...
Makes sense.
I think there was also a TV stand next to it for some reason, but, we had our branding figured out. And then we were actually... The one problem that we still had was we had some ideas for content, but we didn't really have a focus. And that kind of stayed the case for a while. So... we had the idea to make a channel, and we had some ideas of videos we could make and things we could talk about. But we weren't 100% certain, and also there was some other things, so we decided to, at some point, to make some videos of different ideas that we had, and then just kind of in the process, we just like upload some of it. We wanted to start by making a bit of a backlog, so I think in the beginning, when we did YouTube, at first, we always had, 2 weeks worth of content or so in our back pocket that we had at the ready. Because I think that was... I think
How often did you upload?
What? What did you say?
How often did you upload? Like a week?
It varied. I think we started out with 2 or 3 videos a week and ended up going up to daily at some point.
That's a lot.
I think at the time when we switched over to daily... we already kind of had 7 videos a week. I think or had at least sometimes done 7 videos a week, where sometimes we would just have 2 videos in one day for some reason. So that was just kind of more of a reorganization than a real increase. And then, of course, a while ago, we decided to... in theory, we decided to try to take a quality over quantity approach, and in practice... I mean, our quantity is definitely fewer, and I would like to think that our quality is at least a little better. I mean, our average quality on the Hearthstone videos is definitely better, but I'm also skipping ahead a lot now. So first we did some test recordings with an old microphone that I had lying around, which was not good. We decided to try to see if we could edit the audio to make it sound a bit better, and we could, but and I just dropped my pencil, which I probably shouldn't have been playing with in the first place.
Yeah.
And so we decided to actually get a proper microphone. Which is where we got... how long is the cable? How bad of an idea is it to try to... Let me see if I can... This is a blue snowball ice.
Oh man, the audio was really nice right now.
I mean, yes, but I also don't want to hold it in front of my face all the time, right? So yes, that is how that's intended to be used, and or at least it's supposed to be. It's relatively close to your face, and it still is. Let me pull this a bit closer, but it still is way too far away from where I am. That's one thing for sure. I mean, it's fine. I feel like when I'm sitting here, especially after we edited the audio, you always think it's fine, probably. But it definitely was even worse when we were sitting here with 2 people and we had the microphone in between us, which this is definitely not meant for. But we've done it anyways for a couple of years. And, I mean, we never really got into a microphone setup. But so yeah, we got the microphone. And yes, that is one of the cheapest, somewhat professional microphones that you can get. Because, you know, I mean, we were paying out of our pockets for something that we never expected to make any return, right?
Yeah. It was like the first few weeks, right? When you got the microphone? Or was it like before the first video ever?
I mean, it was before the first video that came out.
Oh.
We did recordings on the old microphone, but mostly as tests, and we ended up deciding that was not good enough. So there is... I mean, virtually every single video we've made involves this microphone. There might be one or two exceptions, but generally speaking, this microphone... I think there's a couple of exceptions of the more recent... It's possible that some of the more recent Hearthstone videos that Alex made that he recorded at his place might have not used this microphone. But generally speaking, this microphone was what's used for most of the videos on this channel to this day. So we got the microphone and we just recorded some videos we thought either made sense or we just wanted to make, even if we thought they didn't make sense, which... turns out that YouTube is just as crazy as you think it is. And so we just made some videos. And they were all over the place. So that was a bit crazy. So one of the... actually, I think the very first video we uploaded... and I think the very first video we uploaded actually was the channel trailer. But like 5 minutes later, we uploaded another video. Because we knew that... I was like, we're not going to upload a channel trailer... and then not upload something else right after. Because I hate it when channels do that, right? You go to someone's channel, and they just have a channel trailer on there, and then they forgot they had a YouTube channel. It's like... small tangent, right? But do you realize how many channels have their last video be a video where they explain that they're back and what their plans for the future are, and then have not uploaded since?
I have seen a couple, not that many, actually.
I mean, I haven't seen a huge amount, but the fact... I've also seen a couple, and it's like... you know, it's the whole thing, like, I'd have 2 times, but that's still kind of weird that it happened twice, right?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? People make these videos like, oh, my content going forward. Like, I'm back, my content going forward. It's like... and then, like, nothing for months. Or years.
Uploaded 2 years ago.
Yeah! So, similar things sometimes happens with channel trailers. As a matter of fact, I've also seen a couple channels, mostly made by kids, but where it was like, first channel trailer! And then, like, a couple weeks later, second channel trailer! They'll post, like, their intro video separately, right? Like sometimes you'll have like a 20-second intro, 10-20-second intro. 20 is actually very long for an intro. You're not going to keep anyone's attention through that. But like intro video and then like remastered intro videos. I mean, it's like they haven't even released any content and they've already earned the second intro. It's like, dude, make actual content. So
also, man, like intro videos, like or intros in general on YouTube. Man, that was a long time ago.
So we had an intro, and it was, for those that don't remember, as a matter of fact, maybe I'll play it right here, but it was just about as cliched as you could think, right? It's like some music and like just the logo bouncing around in like a 3D font, you know. It's a cliche, alright? I still consider our early content to be like half parody of YouTube and half actual YouTube content. Don't ask me which half is which. So, you know, we weren't taking it particularly seriously, and, you know, we just thought, you know, we remember in our formative years YouTubers having intros. So yeah, we had an intro. Not good. I don't hate the intro, but A, it was way too long, and B, like, after you've seen it the third or fourth time, like, you don't need to see it again, right?
Yeah, you're just gonna skip it.
We got rid of that a while ago, so we're not doing that anymore. And we just made a variety of content. The second video we uploaded after the channel trailer, which is what I was getting at before I distracted myself, as I tend to do, was the first ever cookie clicker video we made. I don't have the original raw recording files anymore. I wanted to remaster it at some point. Because... well, okay, besides the fact that I cropped it and then zoomed it in a bit, which was not a good choice, that really messed with the video quality. There's obviously also issues with the audio quality, because of course there is. So, yeah. Gameplay audio...
I've actually listened to that recently.
Yeah,
man.
The gameplay audio might have been a bit too loud. I mean, there's also... I think there's also stretches where the commentary audio is not... I think it's also clipping a bit, but like the gameplay audio is...
Usually when Alex speaks.
So, yeah. That was not a good idea. And so... I think we actually learned from that, though, because that after that, I think we never made either of those mistakes again. So, you live and you learn. Which I feel like...
That's good.
That could be the tagline for our channel. You live and you learn. Because, as with everything, we have more or less been getting progressively better. I'm not saying we're good. I'm saying we're way better than we were in the beginning. Make of that what you will. Hey, maybe one day we will be good. I mean, if we keep improving.
Should bring back the garbage content banner.
She liked that a lot, but we ended up deciding that it was going to be better to have a banner that is relevant to the type of content we make. And so our current banner, I think, is more or less Hearthstone themed. It might actually say TrashcanTV on there, and I think
yes, it
on
is.
there.
TrashcanTV Hearthstone.
Yes, because it's our channel all about Hearthstone, which is not technically the phase that we're at yet, but hey, TrashcanTV. So TrashcanTV 2 has a banner that says TrashcanTV 2 Gaming, which has a picture of Chloe from the Life is Strange games on the right, which is a game series that we really like. It has Gen, I believe that is, on the left from World of Warcraft, which we also briefly played. I still don't like that game. And of course, there's an Easter egg on there that I'm not going to name, but that used to be a lot of places. Oh, right. It's also the main channel banner. And yeah, the main channel banner is all about Hearthstone. Pretty much. And so, I think it's actually a third channel banner, possibly. I think we had one before, which was more about the variety gaming aspect, kind of like the second channel banner. Though more messy, probably. I'm not 100% certain about that. Do I have an... I might not even have it if I... Because I could look through my old files, but the problem is, it's possible that I never had it, because I think all of the banners were technically made by Alex, so...
Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, we definitely did have that. Actually, I could... You know what? Would you look at that? That doesn't really quite work.
Oh my god.
Covering like half of it, but like this kind of shows what a mess our channel was, though. There's a Hearthstone logo, there's a Life is Strange logo, there's Cookie Clicker, there's wrestling, as in... Actually, this is, I think, the World Wrestling Federation logo. It's the old one, I think, still. Or like the Icon era or something. It's an old WWE logo. So yeah, that was a mess. It's fine, actually. It's not quite as crowded as some of our old end cards, which we used to definitely have an attitude of more is better when it comes to a lot of our design elements. So a lot of our stuff was just very crammed when it comes to graphics that we made. But again, you learn, right? And so we started out with that kind of variety aspect, and then a Cookie Clicker stood out as something that people actually enjoyed. We kind of just started that because we were both very into Cookie Clicker at the time, and we both played it. And so it was a natural thing to make a video about, but also we knew that the cookie clicker hype was actually, or we thought the cookie clicker hype was over, right? Like no big YouTubers were making videos about it anymore. But turns out the community still very much existed, which led to, like, no one's making videos about this, the community exists. Yeah, we kind of found an empty niche there.
It's free real estate, man.
I mean, it was. I mean, those are some of our most successful videos of all time. And people, of course, keep asking why don't you make more quick clicker videos, and maybe we'll make some on the second channel at some point, but A, we both don't really play it as actively anymore, and B, there just is only so much content you can make about Cookie Clicker. So we had that, we had the podcast, which is the series that you're currently watching, and now on the second channel. Of course, originally on the main channel. So the podcast was also kind of an obvious format for us, because I feel like we've had a lot of interesting discussions, Alex and I. Now, problem with that is, not all of that translates well to video. Because A...
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's an interesting discussion for us, doesn't necessarily mean it's for an audience. B, you kind of can't have those long pauses where both people are thinking about something or something like that. C, you want to be a bit more on topic, maybe, and not just be all over the place. I mean, if you think this is all over the place, you don't want to hear the conversations we're having off camera.
Oh, yeah.
And what am I on? D, context. Right? We'd make a lot of inside jokes, which, as a matter of fact, we also did in the early days of the channel. Sometimes we would just use an inside joke. And if you were lucky, we'd explain it. Which, you know, not great.
Not that great. You want to include the audience.
Yeah. And so the podcast was kind of a natural format for us. We can talk a bit about how we came up with the structure, but honestly, it's not that exciting. But yeah, so, you know, a talking format. And I think one of the other things that we did almost from the beginning is play Telltale games. That being The Walking Dead in the beginning, and then later the other similar games by Telltale, as well as Life is Strange, the entire franchise, as a matter of fact, which I mentioned. Also, there's a new Life is Strange game coming out, and I'm kind of hyped.
Wait, what? There is?
Yes.
Nice.
Which we'll probably play on the channel. As in TrashcanTV 2. The channel you're currently on. I still have to order that. I think there's a 10% off or something for pre-order, so I'm looking into it. Why am I so good at sidetracking myself?
I don't know.
Like, I can get distracting others, but I'm distracting myself. And it looks like Sergej is looking up Life is Strange right now.
Not quite. I'm currently handling conflicting time schedules.
Wait, are you working right now?
No.
Oh, God. Anyways, where was I? Right. So we did the podcast. We did some gameplay stuff. As I said, we had Cookie Clicker going. We also played some other browser games here and there. Not all those videos are around anymore, by the way. And we did wrestling-related videos. As I said, there was a WWE logo there for a reason. And we did predictions for some of the pay-per-views, and then also reviews. With varying success. Speaking of reviews, we also at some point did Rick and Morty episode reviews. Because we both liked the show at the time.
Oh, yes.
And so it was natural for us to talk about it on the channel. And so we just kind of did whatever. We even had some random videos that basically are just podcast topic the video. Like, seriously, like, some of these are just premises that could have been podcast topics, and I don't know why they weren't. As a matter of fact, I know why they weren't, because when we started making the podcast, we had too many ideas. It sounds ludicrous now, because these days, we seem to have trouble coming up with ideas sometimes. But, yeah, so we just did whatever, and then a lot of what we did ended up being gaming content, because it's kind of a natural thing to do. I was more or less a gamer at the time. I mean, I still am to some degree. I wouldn't consider myself like a hardcore gamer, but I definitely game quite a bit. And so that made sense. Alex wasn't that much into gaming at the time, but we did some gaming content because it was just natural, and especially stuff like the Telltale games, I feel like lends itself to the format we had. Two people sitting on the couch, because you don't need to have both players have input on the game. And also, because you have some time to make your dialogue choices, you can actually control it collectively. You don't have to have like one person necessarily control the entire narrative, the other person just sits there and watches. So that was a natural fit. Cookie Clicker ended up getting a bit more of a tutorial spin. Episode 1 was just kind of like a Let's Play Cookie Clicker episode 1. And then starting with episode 2, it turned a bit more into a guide, and it became more and more guide-like as we went, because it turned out that's what people were kind of watching it for, and that's what interested people. And so I think, starting at the very least with the first Ascension video, we literally started making them as guides, right? Like, this is how we think you should make the first Ascension, based off of like community consensus, personal experience, all that stuff. And so we did a lot of gaming content, and I think the WWE stuff stuck around for quite a while as well, but a lot of the like random videos here and there kind of fell away over time, and it became more and more clear that it was more or less a gaming channel. We still had the podcast, which is like the main non-gaming content, and at some point we even stopped making the reviews and the likes, because we were like, this channel needs some amount of focus if we want to do something with it. And so gaming it was, because that's just the majority of our content already. And it seemed like that was a natural fit for us.
Makes a lot of sense.
At some point, I suggested playing this game that I really liked, called Hearthstone. It's weird to think, but when we started the channel, Alex didn't even know what Hearthstone was. We literally just, as a video idea, tried, like, I show Alex Hearthstone. And then I basically explain to him how the game works as we go. And that's the first time Alex played Hearthstone. That was actually on the channel. I'm pretty sure the video's still up. You can watch that right... My arm is way too off screen. I'll totally forget to put an info card there. But, like, info card right there, right? Like, I'll try to remember. I'm bad at this, though. Like, the info card thing I've always been bad at, and I'll probably keep being bad at. If I don't put it and you notice that I didn't put it, just, like, leave a comment yelling at me. Like, like, seriously. Optimally leave a timestamp as well, so I don't have to find where exactly it was, but, like, if I say I'm going to put an info card in there, forget, like, just tell me, right? I'm a human being and I'm definitely fallible, but, like, I can fix the stuff. So yeah, then we focused more on gaming, and Hearthstone just kind of was a thing that happened. And Alex seemed to really like Hearthstone, and he really got into it. There was definitely a long time where Alex was probably more hardcore into Hearthstone than I was. And so, again, we were both playing it. It's a natural fit to make more videos about it. And
so naturally, over time, you switched to only making Hearthstone videos, right?
Well, yeah, so...
Or was there something in between?
We were a variety gaming channel. We had a good thing going with, like, every now and again making a Cookie Clicker video, as we had something to make a video about. Making somewhat regular Hearthstone content, I think that's definitely the time when we did, like, 6 videos a week. Because we could just make, like, 2 or 3 Hearthstone videos a week. Like, not a problem, right? Because there's so much content to be made. In theory. We later realized that at some point we started coming up with, like, oh, fuck. We were daily, and it's like, oh, what are we gonna do? And then it's, like, stupid challenges and stuff, which some of them were entertaining, but, like, the thing is, if challenge video is your default filler idea, the challenges are gonna get worse and worse, because they're start running out of good ones.
Yeah.
So, we did variety gaming for a while, but it was very clear from the get-go, or at the very least as we started doing Hearthstone more, it became very clear that that was the game that people were most interested in. Cookie Clicker also got a lot of traction, but we couldn't make that a regular thing. And the other games, people didn't really care about that much. So at some point, we decided to make the second channel. So Hearthstone on the main channel, everything else on the second channel. Well, to be precise, Hearthstone and the podcast on the main channel. So we had 6 Hearthstone videos a week and 1 podcast. And that worked fine until we decided that all the challenges were getting a bit much. And we ended up having more and more filler content that just didn't feel that good. So we decided to reduce the quantity of content. And I said, if we're only going to release like a video or 2 per week, which at the time was the schedule we were hoping for, though haven't been perfectly holding up with that, of course. Though I'm hoping that's going to get better soon, but different story. And so I said, okay, then the content all of a sudden is like half to a third to half of our content, right? And it also gets watched a lot less than the Hearthstone videos. And I don't want YouTube to push our channel down because we have a series that performs poorly, and we already had a second channel. So I'm like, okay, let's, with the reduction in videos, move the podcast to the second channel. And that very broadly gets us to where we are today. Is it halftime show time? By which I mean, is it Fact of the Week time?
Probably.
After that, we'll get into more details about different series, about some of the other equipment, and the future. I think we're gonna skip point 3 in our script because it's not that exciting.
Yeah, agree.
But first of that, Sergej, what is your Fact of the Week?
My Fact of the Week, actually I have 2, because I don't know whether or not Fact 1 that I had was mentioned before or not.
Okay.
So, you know this, because you were present when it happened. Yeah. But the viewers probably don't know. So, once, like roughly a year ago, Alex made a meme.
Oh, yes! Yeah.
A very, very successful meme.
Oh god, please tell me you have the numbers.
Yes, I looked it up, though I couldn't find how well it placed on r/all.
I do
remember that it was definitely in the top 100. It might have been in the top 50, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. It definitely did.
So yeah. Very, very well. I've actually seen it in real life from people that I know showing this meme around, which was crazy. It got reposted all over the web, and right now the original post from Alex has 160,000 upvotes on Reddit. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think also multiple gold, right?
Also, Oh yeah. He has. I don't know. It's a lot of awards. It's. I don't even want to count them. But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that is I don't think we have talked about that. So if you want, you can keep your second fact for the next episode, unless you really want it.
I probably will.
Okay.
Yeah.
In which case, my fact of the week. I was not there when that happened, but no one here in the audience was, so that's fine. My fact of the week is that writing was invented independently around about 5 times. It might be 4. We're not 100% certain.
Damn.
Because it's hard to track the contact between different populations. So this is literally just the times that groups have invented writing without being aware of writing as a concept. So this does not count people adapting other alphabets or seeing another alphabet and deciding to make their own as a response, right? Like, Korea wrote in the Chinese characters for a while, which was a mess, and then one of the emperors decided to invent a new writing system, which was Hangul, but that doesn't count because he knew what writing was. He just invented a more efficient way of doing it. So, just without having a concept of writing, there's been 4 or 5 times that writing was invented, and pretty much all modern writing goes back to that. As a matter of fact, most of it goes back to the ancient Egyptians. I'm not sure how many of the other writing systems actually survived. So, ancient Egypt invented hieroglyphics, which are logographs, which are symbols that, every picture represents a thing. And then at some point, people adapted that to actually represent sounds. And then that was then later adapted by other cultures, and then I think the Byzantines brought it to Greece, and then the Romans got it from the Greeks, I think, and then that is the alphabet that the Romans were using, is the one that we're using today in languages like English and most European languages. The Greeks still use a version of their old alphabet. The Cyrillic alphabet is also descendant of the Greek one, I think. It's definitely somewhere in there.
It's at the very least related.
And if memory serves,
they probably have.
I'm not 100% certain right offhand where Arabic comes from. I want to say that also comes from. I want to say Arabic and Hebrew also come from the Egyptians, just split way earlier. I'm not 100% certain of that right offhand, but those are also all derivative of old scripts. So, Egyptian hieroglyphics, the Chinese characters. There was a pre-Columbian Mesoamerican writing system, as in Latin America, before Columbus. It says, including among others, Olmec and Maya. There's a hieroglyphic writing system used by pre-colonial Mi'kmaq. Try Mi'kmaq or something, I don't know. Anyways, and wait, I just named 4, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's a 5th, but there was one where there was a debate over whether or not it actually might have been inspired by the Egyptians or whether that was independent. Anyways, only 4 or 5 times that we've invented writing. Which, considering how varied scripts are that exist in the world, it's kind of crazy to think about.
True. Yeah.
Now that we got that out of the way, though, getting really exciting, because we're finally getting to the halftime show. Let me do this. And that, my friends, is our cameras covering up something that's going to become relevant later, which is a bit unfortunate.
No.
I mean, I could probably fix this, but also... I'm just going to read out the view counts whenever they come. So this might look familiar to some of you. This is HigherLower, except with a twist. Those thumbnails might also look familiar to you. And they're very zoomed in, but that's fine. So yeah, these are videos made by TrashcanTV. And now, our job is to figure out which one has more views. Which...
Yes.
Isn't that really cool? So, first of all, I have to say, thanks to Sergej for... I don't know why I'm saying that like I'm addressing someone who's in the audience. Thank you, Sergej, for making that for the show.
Took me quite a few hours. I think it was like 10 or 12-ish hours in total.
So in other words...
Most of it was spent on the front end. Because, man, I hate CSS.
Yeah. You mentioned that. So yeah, way too much effort for this thing. Maybe we'll bring it back at some point, because this is definitely too much effort for a one-off, I think. Especially considering that there's going to be about 10 people watching this. I'll post in Discord, we might get 15. But, Sergej, I'm saying you're lucky if we get as many views as you spend hours on this. And that's not counting the recording. So yeah. So neither one of us knows the results of how many views which video got. These are automatically generated by we're programmers. We're too lazy to explain it. It's an algorithm.
Yeah.
And how does this website react if I zoom, Sergej?
It should work fine. Or not. Okay, well then.
Okay, that does not... Okay, I was just trying to see if we could get the question marks a bit better in view, but... So, above the question marks,
you could
has...
try making the window smaller in height. That should work fine. Also, that will reveal a bit more of the thumbnails.
I could... Let's work with what we got.
Okay.
There's no way to make this look good without me having to change something about the recording setup, and I'm too lazy to do that right now. You're gonna have to deal with what we get.
Can you not just hide the cameras?
I could.
Can you not just do that?
I could. I mean, I could. Which ones are the cameras? That is to say, I can if I can see what I'm doing over here. Is it this? Nope. That is.
Nope.
That is. Wait, that's also that? What the fuck? Oh, I think.
Wait.
That does not even make sense. Let's not mess with that. Wait. You know what, Sergej? I know you want this to look better, but we're just gonna have to deal with it, okay?
Okay, sure.
The question is, do you think The Streets of Delran Part 2, Hearthstone The Rise of Shadows, The Delran Heist number 6, 2019, got more views? Yeah, I'm working on the titling thing, okay? Or Hearthstone Trash Bowls,
the titles are very long.
European Quarterfinals, Hearthstone Tournament 2020, got more views.
I'm gonna bet on the Hearthstone Trash Bowl.
I would agree. I think this is gonna be the Trash Bowl. And the Trash Bowl has 49 views, and the Delran Heist has 55.
Yeah.
What the fuck, people? Trash Talk Podcast, number 8. SummerSlam predictions. Get rid of phobias. I know it says get rid of phobias. Reverse quiz versus one of our really old Hearthstone videos, which you can tell by the thumbnail style, which I still aesthetically like, but it doesn't work as a thumbnail. The Last Kaleidosaur, Hearthstone Control Mage.
It's hard.
The problem is that
probably
it's a really old
Hearthstone video. Yeah.
I'm also going to go with the Hearthstone video because podcasts were never that popular. Though this one has SummerSlam predictions. Which is one of those things that would actually get the podcast more views. This is actually tougher than I thought it was going to be. 73 views and 26. You could probably also see that as a swipe up. But,
yes.
Okay, Hearthstone Trash Bowl. Alex versus Universe. Who I believe these days spells his name differently, but that's besides the point. I think this was the very first Trash Bowl, the Saviors of Uldum one. Yep. Versus opening our IQ test results. Trash Talk Podcast 172.
2020. Huh.
Listen, right? Every video before 2021 has a year in its title. I kind of stopped doing that because I feel like for most videos it doesn't need to be there. I also stopped doing all caps thing because it seems a bit overkill.
Probably still the Trash Bowl.
I would think so. I don't.
But it's tough.
If memory serves, then the podcast with the IQ test results did not actually draw any additional audience over a regular podcast. I don't think that was very popular.
Aww.
I thought it was interesting.
Big sad.
Yes, I did not make it into Mensa. I'm too stupid for Mensa. They needed me to have an IQ of at least 130. I only have 129. I did not make the cut. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trash Bowl as well. 47 versus 34. Oh, I did a thing. Oh, nice. You included the second channel videos.
Yes.
Because
yes, I did.
195 is definitely too recent to be. Okay, by the way, which title looks more pleasant? Just from not necessarily the words that are in it, but just from a formatting standpoint. Though I feel like there's a space missing after the thing there, but
yeah, that's on you though.
yeah. No, but like, look at it, right? Like the all caps one with the year and everything, or just the left one?
The left one is easier to read.
That was all I was going for.
For some reason.
So, yes. That is...
It is a bit long.
I mean, yes. But that is how new titles look versus how old titles look, in case you were curious what I was talking about earlier. Those are both podcast episodes. I have a strong suspicion which one is better. Is more successful, though.
124?
Yeah. You know why?
Somehow our recent podcasts didn't really get all that many views.
I mean, yeah, the reason is because it's on the main channel. More people got to see it. Like, there's more impressions, because...
That makes sense.
Very few people are actually subbed to the second channel. Even now.
That makes a lot of sense.
I would... Oh, yeah. Since I'm probably going to post this in the Discord, and if you're still watching this, and you're not subscribed, if you want to see more of these, subscribe to the second channel. Also, I like how I spelled deja vu correctly. But, yes, that should be the winner. 48-2.
Damn.
Yeah, we're not joking when we tell you that these ones do not do well. Best Hearthstone deck right now, Hearthstone Ash of Outland Galakrond Warlock 2020. With... Oh, I was about to say with quotation marks at them, but that's just always there. Those are yes. Actually provided by the game. Or Hearthstone Trash Bowl, Gamecat versus Matokia, first round match from the Series of Ultim Trash Bowl.
This is tough. I roughly know what to expect from the Trash Bowl, but not from everything else, basically.
I feel like in both cases it depends a bit. The Trash Bowl definitely does worse, I feel like, in the first round when we post 2 videos a day. I also feel like some matches just randomly do better than others. Possibly because the people in it actually show it to their friends or something, I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe also because our audience knows whom is going to provide a
closer match.
I don't think that was the moment to say whom. Who provides an exciting match or something, I don't know. I would tend towards Galakrond Warlock.
Yeah.
448 versus 51. I think that was early in the expansion. So, because that's also the other thing, right? It matters a lot when in the expansion cycle it happens. Okay, Trash Talk Podcast number 55, where we talk about the best Hearthstone cards. And Edgar Allan Poe, 2 things that very naturally go hand in hand. Or Trash Bowl, Crown Cougar versus Jay Wyland, American semi-finals in the Descent of Dragons Trash Bowl.
Ooh. Gonna go with Trash Bowl here. Especially because it's the semifinals.
Especially because of the semifinals. 169 versus 19. So yes.
Damn.
The Walking Dead, number 7. Which is Season 2, Episode 1. Or we make custom Hearthstone cards from the podcast. Oh my god, right. There's a character in The Walking Dead whose name is Nick. And In the Nick of Time is in seventh place. We love our puns. I think for The Walking Dead, most of the titles are actually name puns. And then for Life is Strange, the first time we played it was all song titles. As a matter of fact, I think it was all Bon Jovi song titles. We really... Okay, listen. We've liked our theming to a point where it's detrimental to our click-through, probably, but hey.
Man,
so podcast or Walking Dead? I can tell you The Walking Dead was probably about 3 hours long, and the podcast was probably about an hour and a half long.
Oh, God.
For YouTube videos.
Let's try Trash Talk, though I suspect it might also be The Walking Dead.
I have no idea, I'm just gonna agree. 26 versus 13, so we got it.
Ooh!
Why haven't we played more Anti-Chamber?
I don't know. Kind of just forgot about it.
So, is Demon Hunter good in this brawl? Hearthstone Ashes of Outland Send the Murloc's Tavern Brawl? Or Brain-Bending Madness? Antechamber number 1.
If I remember correctly, Antechamber had like roughly 20 views.
Really? That's still pretty good for the second channel.
Yeah, do you suspect the Demon Hunter video to have more or less of the
I would say
views?
More, because
Okay.
that was when Demon Hunter was pretty new. So that would draw attention, and B, it's a main channel video about Hearthstone. I think around that time, our Hearthstone videos generally did around 40 to 50 views for the most part. Oh, by the way, I should have probably said this in the beginning, but the reason why this doesn't work quite like the regular HigherLower is because we thought it was going to be too easy if you see one of the view counts, because that gives you even more information to work with. And so, if you don't want to know one of the view counts, but you still want to reveal the view counts at the end of the round, you got to have a completely new pair every time. That's why that is.
Yep.
Should probably mention it at the beginning. I think we're going to go with a Hearthstone video. Huh.
Yeah.
35 to 19. So there's a lot to talk about here. First of all, the Hearthstone video's thumbnail is horrible, but I really like the GeoGuessr video thumbnail. The Hearthstone thumbnail is too horrible because I'm pretty sure that was... Actually, that couldn't have been that newly into the expansion, but I think at the time the art for Face Hunter wasn't available yet, so I just put the entire card on there, which is a choice. And it does look accordingly. The GeoGuessr video was supposed to be a half-time show at some point. I can tell you, I don't remember how many views it got, but it got more views than most of the podcasts we've made.
Wait, really?
As in most of the podcasts the two of us made, specifically.
Huh.
Like, yes.
Damn.
So, Sergej, Face Hunter or GeoGuessr? Also, isn't that an elegant title? The Accidental GeoGuessr video. No, like, numbers, no years, no unnecessary capitalization.
It is a nice title, gotta say.
I mean, I know I'm patting myself on the back.
Still gonna stick with Face Stalker.
Yeah, I think so. But honestly, I know I'm patting myself on the back, but I really like the thumbnail for the GeoGuessr video. I did not know what to put, and I ended up deciding to just find a picture of Earth. And I really like the picture. I think that's mostly why I like the thumbnail as well, because I like the picture. Because it looks really cool. Yes, 113 versus 10.
Damn.
Which is still more than most of the podcasts on the second channel got. Okay. This should be easy, so I'm going to let this entirely up to you. Hearthstone Budget Druid, Hearthstone Ascent of Dragons Budget Deck Series number 1, or Infinite Weapons, Hearthstone Darius Crawley Monster Hunt number 6.
Probably budget decks, because I've heard they do very well.
Yes, one of our most successful series, and also, I mean, it's a number 6. That just makes it even worse. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Budget Deck 2000 versus 51. That's not even that great for a budget video. It's actually pretty low for a budget deck.
Yeah.
Trash Bowl, Skullman's Academy Trash Bowl. I think it's the most recent one. But Skullman's Academy after that was... Yeah, I think it's the most recent one. Maxime versus Zigzagic in the quarterfinals of Europe, or a podcast from like the first year that we've been doing YouTube or something. This doesn't even have... I think this one doesn't have a year behind it, not because it's too new, but because it's too old. Oh, and it's not the first year that we've done... It's not the first year that we've done YouTube. The first 52 are in the first year that we've done YouTube. This should be obvious, it's a weekly podcast. God damn it, JJ. Stop being an idiot.
Again, I'm gonna go with Trash Bowl.
Yeah.
Also, gonna compliment the thumbnail.
Oh, right, yeah. Oga. Hearthstone single player content. We got Entering the Scorching Dunes from Savers of Uldum, Tombs of Terror, Scorching Dunes, Part 1. Or Best Hearthstone Cards, Edgar Allan Poe, Trash Talk Pockets number 50.
I think we had that.
I know! If you consider that it can pull from all of our public videos, I suppose, I think that's just where it gets them from. That means that it has about 700, 800 videos to pull from, I think.
Roughly 1,100. Maybe a bit more.
Was it that many? Wow. We've been doing this for a while now.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I guess we have more or less made a video per day for like 4 years now, so it would check out to be over 1,000.
I mean, your main channel has, I think, 1,073 or 74 videos.
Okay, and second channel has, what, like a couple dozen? Like, let's say 40?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you just look it up, or did you just agree with my guess?
I agree with your guess.
Because I would.
It should be roughly in there.
Now I'm looking curious how close it was, but so we know how much the podcast pulled, if we could remember, which I don't.
Nope.
I'm gonna go with the Hearthstone video though, because it's a Hearthstone video. 112. I did not expect that one to have done so well. But that's what I was saying, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. Oh, yeah, I think I know. But, so there's 2 Hearthstone reports, which are very similar videos. As a matter of fact, Jesus Christ. I was about to say they're close together, but no, that's November and that's March, so they're not close together. But American date format still fucks me up sometimes. Like, I write those titles for fuck's sake, and I'm getting confused. So the left one is a Hearthstone report where we talk about. We got 11 in a row, by the way. I guess let's do this until we get one wrong.
Okay, sure.
Because we've been doing this for a while, but I really enjoyed it too. So the first one is new Hearthstone expansion came out and a new game mode, and I'm talking about that. And the other one, I think, I'm talking about some new cards for an expansion. So that's like the second or third report about the new expansion. Different expansion, but
I have no idea.
I would generally say that
you gotta take this one.
The video that is the first one about a new expansion usually gets a lot of hype, while talking about the other cards usually is more of a pro forma thing. So I'm gonna say like 1,000 to 20 or something. That's a bit extreme, but 265 to 175. It was a lot closer than I said. It was only 90 off, but hey. This is interesting. So we have the farewell episode of Life is Strange Before the Storm. I think it's when we played that with you, isn't it?
Might be.
Because I think and a Hearthstone report, which seems to have just had competitive Hearthstone as the primary topic, which is probably about the least exciting thing to talk about, I feel like. I do not care for a competitive Hearthstone. I mean, I know we host a tournament, but like, which I find fascinating, but like outside of that.
I have no idea.
I'm probably still gonna go with the Hearthstone report just because it's about Hearthstone, but this is a tough guess for me. 37 to 32.
That was close.
I know. Which brings our score to 0 and our high score to 12.
Yeah.
Now, it is worth noting that if we do this again in another podcast, it's not going to remember our high score. Because that's only cached in, like, memory or something.
It's not even cached.
Well, it's only on the site. It's not in the cookie or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to pull this up whenever I... Like, the moment you reload, the page is gone, is what I'm saying. But yeah, that was fun.
Something different.
So yeah, I really like this, but we were kind of sort of talking. By the way, this podcast is now officially at an hour, I think. So no, maybe not on the minute, but like pretty much.
It's close, yeah.
And I think we only did slightly above half an hour for the first topic. So, well, the first half of the topic but so there's not a lot to talk about. So I guess we'll just skim over this. You wanted me to talk about the different Hearthstone series we've had over the years.
Yeah. Yes.
So, what we've written down here is the beginner's guide, which I don't fully remember how we came up with that. I assume we were just making Hearthstone videos and we're like, what is a thing that people would actually get a use out of, Like you're supposed to do when you make YouTube videos. Or, well, one of the, like, what are the viewers getting out of this? Right, so what would be useful to people? And we already had kind of a guide series going with the cookie clicker stuff. So obviously we knew that guides were going to do well. We knew that Hearthstone did well. We made a Hearthstone guide. I don't know fully how we came up with that, but I still think that the guide is a bit of a mess. The way it is. And it definitely is out of date by now. So it is worth mentioning that we're probably going to redo that at some point. And when it comes to the actual, most of the stuff that we tackled in the original guide, which was less about actually playing a match of Hearthstone and more about everything around it, like your gold management and dust management and the like, we're probably going to make an updated video about that at some point. I'm not going to guarantee when exactly, but I'm just going to say this. Weaselbat asked for us to do a updated gold strategy guide and regarding the new rewards track. So, if you're watching this, we've read the message. We're gonna make it. So yeah. I mean, we probably would have done it anyways, but be sure to look out for that. There's not much else to say about the beginner's guide, I think. Whenever the beginner's guide blew up, we decided to make more guides, which mostly just meant we did the Hearthstone terminology video, where we just talked about different, like, Hearthstone-specific lingo. I don't think that did too well. And we did the arena guide, which also didn't do that hot. But I think that, I still think they did well in the grand scheme of things, but they didn't do well compared to the beginner's guide, which, granted, only some of the cookie clicker videos did better, so it's not exactly a low bar. I'm currently in the process of going to the channel to see how well that did, but also...
Oh, okay.
What the fuck, YouTube? Why is my YouTube sidebar not loading? Thank you, YouTube. Also, apparently... Okay, that's Grandmasters. I was about to say, apparently, Hearthstone is streaming, but that's just competitive Hearthstone. Who cares? This might be a bit of a controversial take, but I don't care about competitive Hearthstone. I know I said that already, but let's do a channel search. Actually, I don't need to do a channel search because we have a playlist. The arena... So, okay, the beginner's guide got 112,000 views. The Hearthstone terminology video got 1,400 views. And the arena guide got 9,000 views. So they all did way better than our other Hearthstone videos, but also, could have been better. I think I know why we had exactly 2,000 for the one budget deck. Because starting at 1,000, YouTube rounds the numbers that it gives out.
Yeah.
And it rounds it to the nearest 1,000. Or just to the nearest 0.1,000, rather. So to the nearest 100.
Yes.
So that's what exactly 2,000. It's probably not exactly 2,000. But I just thought of that. But yeah, anyways. Not relevant. So yeah, we did those videos as a kind of a sequel, and those didn't do that well, and granted there was other videos we should have probably made before that anyways. We're gonna definitely redo the beginner's guide, and there's also another thing that we're probably gonna make multiple beginner videos at some point in the not so far future, hopefully. another series that we started, as I just kind of already mentioned, the budget decks. Kind of a logical sequel to the Beginner's Guide. A bit more seasonal, because the budget decks don't stay relevant forever. It's only for the current expansion. So you got a four-month window where the deck is playable. And we kind of sort of have to wait until the meta somewhat settles. So we kind of usually left like a 3-month window or something for I can actually play the deck, which is limits a bit of how well the video can do, but I think they still do pretty well. And, we knew that people wanted more beginner-friendly content and free-to-play content, so that was a logical thing to make, and it took off. As a matter of fact, I think we made the Budget Hunter deck kind of with, sure, it's informative in mind, but also just as a video on its own, and then just took off. It might have been Mage. I think it was Hunter. And it took off, and then we're like, oh, budget decks. People want to see budget decks. And we just made more budget deck videos, and we kind of made that a recurring thing. And some of them hit better than others, but overall, they're definitely some of our more popular videos, for sure. And then there is the Trash Bowl.
Yes.
This one also started.
How the fuck did you come up with that?
I mean, first of all, it's worth mentioning. Yes, I just grabbed my pen, picked up my pencil finally, which I dropped like an hour ago. So, first of all, we kind of sort of didn't come up with that idea exactly. Which is to say, we originally came up with a different idea, which was what we call the TrashcanTV Hearthstone Challenge, where you, the viewer, could challenge us, Alex and me, in Hearthstone. So we basically allowed people to register for that, and the idea originally was that everyone who could beat both of us in a best of 5? First to 3. No, it's best of 7, isn't it? No, it's best of 5. It's best of 5, yeah.
The 5, yeah.
In a similar format to the one we're using for the Trash Bowl, which also was inspired by the official Hearthstone tournament format of like bring 4 decks, 1 deck gets banned. We might have had bring 3 decks and none get banned at the time. And at the time we had a strict play order, but that ended up being just way too confusing for no reason. So we just kind of took the idea of competitive Hearthstone, and we were just like, okay, like our viewers can challenge us, and we're gonna both play the individual viewers, and then if someone wins against both of us, they win something. And I think we might have had the idea of having people that win also possibly play in a tournament, but I'm not 100% certain of that offhand. The takeaway from this one is that was a huge mess for a variety of reasons. The biggest one was organizational.
Oh, yeah.
And also footage-wise, because we needed footage from both players. And at the time, we didn't do the spectation thing, which, I mean, we could have. I think you could spectate 2 players. I'm not sure if you could actually spectate both players at the same time at that point. I don't know. Point being, it was a bit of a mess. Mostly organizationally. And I think we uploaded 2 of those and recorded 1 or 2 more. So there's a couple that were never released. Which I think was a timing thing, because between planning, scheduling, recording, and releasing, I think the new expansion had come out already or something. So the videos were already outdated, and it didn't really matter. And that, of course, is where I think I might still have some of the videos. Because that's, of course, where the infamous Alex beating Sparrowhawk thing comes from. So I'm not sure if you, Sergej, are aware of this, but our longtime viewers should probably be. Alex once lost in the Trash Bowl to Sparrowhawk in the tournament. That is, I think they played in the European finals, possibly. I don't even remember. But Alex had, of course, previously beaten Sparrowhawk in the TrashcanTV Hearthstone Challenge, though the Sparrowhawk matches specifically weren't even aired. So no one has ever seen that. But it happened. So yeah, first of all, the TrashcanTV Hearthstone Challenge came, which was a disaster. I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but pulling something like this off definitely was not something we were going to do successfully. With a bit more organization up front before we started actually recording them, we could have probably made that work. But we kind of liked the idea, though, of having something that we could... I mean, originally it was... I guess I should roll back a bit. Why did we do the TrashcanTV Hearthstone Challenge? I kind of just said that we did it and how it worked. The reason why we did it was because we wanted to do something with community involvement. It seems kind of obvious, right? We have a more or less Hearthstone-focused channel at the time. All of our audience pretty much plays Hearthstone. How do we include our audience? We let them play against us.
Makes sense, yeah.
And so that idea ended up being a bit too chaotic, in part because we both had to play a lot of games for that to work. Which is more difficult for us than just having other people play games and then spectate them and commentate over them. And sometimes even getting guest commentators. I guess this is the point to, once again, officially thank all of our guest commentators we've had over the years. And I can unironically say over the years because the first one I think was in 2019. So technically, there's definitely been at least 3, I want to say 4 Trash Balls? Yeah, there's been 4 Trash Balls, so... And they're all more or less 4 months apart, so...
For them?
I'm pretty sure there were 4 of them.
Like, I'm actually uncertain there.
Yes. Saviors of Uldum, Descent of Dragons, Ashes of Outland, and Skullman's Academy. There's been 4 of them.
Okay.
I have the computer folders to prove it. So yeah, that was where the Trash Ball came in. We didn't have one during the last expansion. But we're gonna try to have one again for this one. So this is your official announcement. Your official, unofficial announcement. Like, registrations are not yet open, so it's not really that big of an announcement. But Trash Ball probably after the mini set releases. So that is going to be in like a month or so. Probably around that time. Someone 100% set up everything, but we're gonna try to make another Trash Ball happen because it's always a big event in the community. People like playing in the Trash Ball, and there's a lot of people who do enjoy the Trash Ball. Number-wise, it doesn't always do as well as some of the other videos we've made from a view count, but we still like the format from an involvement standpoint, and so that is definitely something we want to do again. So Trash Ball for the current expansion. Fortune of the Barons, that's what it's called. I was totally blanking there for a second. Fortune of the Barons Trash Ball probably coming to a TrashcanTV near you.
Or something like that.
Yeah. So that's the Trash Ball, right? Like, we came up with the idea of having something to do with our community. The obvious thing was to play against them, which ended up being a huge mess. And then we decided that it was going to be easier to have it more as a bracket-style tournament, also because it has fewer matches in total.
Mm-hmm.
And once we had that figured out, we kind of just were like, yeah, okay, so how are we going to do this on a technological standpoint? Like, with how we're going to spectate it, spectation mode, and a couple other things. Yeah, I mean, guest commentators whenever we couldn't find the time slots. The important thing was that we had kind of time slots planned out where people could play, and then just have everyone commit to a time slot a bit ahead of time, so that, I mean, we would oftentimes play the first match before the last one was scheduled for a round, but generally the idea that we could usually record a round of matches in a week or two, so that we could then get it out relatively smoothly. We had to do the 2 uploads per day for the first round, which we'll probably do again when it comes to that, just because otherwise it takes too long to release them. It's not great for the view counts, as I've mentioned, but it's not really a better way to do that. I mean, I guess you could put them in one video, but that doesn't serve any purpose and just makes the videos unnecessarily long, and if you want to find a specific match, makes them hard to find. No, that's a dumb idea, but not going to do that. The only other thing would be to spread out longer, but because you kind of need to wait until after the shake-up halfway through the season, you kind of only have a 2-month window. You want to give the people at least a little bit of time to have the meta settle a bit after the shake-up, which leaves you with about 6 6 to 7 weeks from final deck submission deadline to next expansion is starting to come out, and probably like a month prior to that is when the first announcements start coming. So we definitely have a relatively tight window to record those in. So we try to make that fit, and it's worked more or less fine so far. I think we've had one time where the final was a bit late, but otherwise, generally speaking, it works more or less. Which, by the way, also brings us, of course, to the first thing about the future. We are gonna probably try to bring the Trash Bowl back. I also mentioned the guides, which are gonna make a comeback. The budget series is... I think I already have the first 2 budget decks I think already figured out for the budget series. Probably gonna split the budget series between before the mini set and after the mini set, because otherwise, after the mini set is gonna be a bit problematic as a Trash Bowl to make it all after, and also you want to have decks to play before the mini set comes out, and the pre-mini set decks will still be viable after the mini set, but they might be worse comparatively because cards from the mini set are going to enter the meta, and so there's more cards to play with. I'm pretty sure if you play Hearthstone, you understand what I'm talking about. I know Sergej doesn't, but we're making announcements here, so...
That one was actually kind of understandable.
Okay. Guides, budget series,
I did get
and
theory.
Tournament. That was all of the announcements, pretty much. Oh yeah, right. I'm just gonna say it again, but there's no timetable on this. Minecraft on the second channel. Also Live Strange on the second channel whenever that comes out, probably. Maybe some other various content on the second channel. I mean...
Anti-Chamber
Part 3? Wait, did we ever...
3.
Did we ever release Part 2?
Yes, we did.
Okay, cool.
It was bad. It was corrupt for some reason.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
It was weird.
That was a bit weird. And I still don't know why that happened. Because that was the only video where that ever happened. So I must have either accidentally done something in the edit, or somehow my editor was just doing it for no good reason. Which...
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do to the video to change... I mean, I know how to change the zoom level, which would automatically crop it, of course, if it is more than 100%, but I don't really see myself doing that. I don't do much to the video except for cutting it. So, I don't know. Maybe more Anti-Chamber. We'll see. But I feel like Minecraft maybe has more priority. But also, we are kind of sort of possibly still working out some kinks and planning and stuff. So that might take a while. Because the first time we tried to record that was not good. And that's another thing that changed over time with the channel. At first, we basically never scrapped a video. Which, I mean, transparency and all that, right? But also, like, bad videos get released.
Yeah. Obvious drawback.
Yeah. We've stopped some series because they were problematic, but we also released way too many videos before then that were very much subpar. So that is a thing. I mean, yeah, we have equipment, also a list of things to talk about, but I mean, I talked about the microphone. At some point, Alex wanted a pop filter, so we got a pop filter. Which was on the microphone when I showed it to you. We had the webcam, and then we decided to get lights and a better camera. The camera ended up taking a bit longer than the lights because you can just kind of go out and buy some light stands and some light bulbs, more or less. Where for a camera, you kind of want a good camera, and you kind of don't want to pay like all of your life savings. So that's a bit trickier. So yeah, I hopefully look about as good as I can from a filming standpoint.
I think you do.
Aw, thank you.
Uh...
Is there anything else to talk about, Sergej?
Not really. It's also getting pretty long and late.
Yes. Sergej, for the 200th episode of the Trash Talk Podcast, what is your song of the week?
My song of the week is Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants.
Yeah. I don't love that song. I actually don't even like There Might Be Giants that much. I know Alex loves that song.
I know. That is actually why I picked it, because Alex wasn't here today, so kinda wanted to include him at least in his song choices.
Fair enough. So then logically, I will now do a song from an artist that Alex loves just as much as There Might Be Giants. That's a lie. That as a matter of fact, that is literally, I'm being sarcastic. It's kind of the opposite. And my song of the week is La Isla Bonita by Madonna.
I didn't know the song, but I have heard of Madonna.
You've probably heard the song before.
Well, probably, yeah. But I don't know the name of it.
Anyways, that brings the 200th episode of the Trash Talk Podcast to a close. And, if you are still watching, it would only make sense that you give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Because, frankly, you seem to enjoy this. Because why else would you still be watching? And leave us a comment about us, I guess. I mean, that's pretty much most of what we talked about. Oh yeah, tell Sergej how cool this HigherLower thing looks. And then subscribe. Join the Discord server. Links in the description. Most people that are watching this are probably coming from the Discord server. And the other ones that aren't probably are very much aware of it. You know of it. I had a card at the beginning of everything. Sergej.
That's it.
That's it.